I mean, there's no way Kayvon Thibodeaux can be there at 9, right? We are hearing, he could be the faller. He could be a guy that there are some actual concerns about because of his.
He could
be. Okay, so that's what I was going to ask you. There is legitimacy to these reports about him. Why would he still be there at 9 then?
I think there's two things. I think number one, if you study him, and I had a few of his games over his 3 years, so I did Kayvon's games, and when the motor is flipped on and the gas pedal is stepped on, the RPMs are at a max. The guy is a monster. The guy is a top 3 to 5 pick in the league. Period. But there's just too many times you flip the tape on and the RPMs are not revved up. The engine is not on. It is not at full go, and that concerns NFL people. The other thing is he's a little bit tight. He's bound. You know, these NFL guys call it stiffness in the hips and such. And you watch him and he is kind of a muscly bound, can be a little bit tight at times, in and out of movement and explosion. So I think those two things paired with a tremendous offensive tackle draft, paired with some tremendous wide receivers in different shapes and sizes, paired with some other elite pass rushers, including more than likely the number 1 pick in Aiden Hutchinson. Because of that, you stack those guys a little bit ahead of him, and I won't be surprised at all if he's sitting there at 9. And if he is, I'd be very curious to see if the Seahawks go down that road. I don't think they will.
They won't. Okay, because they need an edge rusher. They desperately need an edge rusher. So
they desperately need an offensive tackle,
right?
You know, and I would probably put tackle, especially without Dwayne Brown signed, and we'll see what happens over the next couple weeks if he ends up signing somewhere, or if Dwayne has said, you know what, I'll take that Jadeveon Clowney approach, and as some other vets have through the years, and I'll let the dust settle, and I'll let the draft happen, and I'll let OTAs get going, and more than likely one of you 32 teams, and probably more than one, is going to need my services. So I would love to see Dwayne Brown signed first. I don't anticipate that in the next 2 weeks. So therefore, I think offensive tackle an even bigger need than that pass rusher, especially one, as I said and laid out there, with a few question marks like Thibodeaux.